Hello lovers of films, I am BT and welcome to the Bothakgatv YouTube channel where we review a movie or a series every single Thursday, maybe sometimes review theater plays. Today we are talking about Fatherhood. Fatherhood is a film streaming on Netflix. So Fatherhood is starring Kevin Hart, Melody Hurd. Kindly allow me to just only mention those two actors. No, it's not just a movie about two actors. I think initially when I saw the trailer for Fatherhood, it reminded me of a film Kevin Hart was also starring in called The Upside, and I personally still believe that's one of Kevin Hart's best performances. And I think the beautiful thing about The Upside and Fatherhood are like characters that we don't usually see Kevin Hart portraying on screen. So Fatherhood, I believe, is a film about a young man who lost his wife, unfortunately, just shortly after giving birth to his daughter. So we're seeing the events of him raising the daughter. And also I think it's not a typical, what's the reason? Do we just need to be watching a parent raising their child? Is that it? I think we're seeing the impact of the loss. We're seeing this unprepared dad. I think he just thought he would be on standby and he'll buy the nappies whilst the wife parents this child even though he's present. I'm assuming, because he's a very playful character. This character called Matthew sometimes even clash with the parents of the late wife, and just how protective they are of their grandchild. And I think decisions of who raises who doesn't raise who, I think that type of a conflict was beautiful. Seeing him stand his ground was also beautiful. And I'm glad that we got a chance to see Matthew father his baby Maddie, and we're seeing all of these events, and there is at some point a love interest which also plays an important part in the events of the film, which was beautiful. A love interest is acted by DeWanda Wise, I believe, who plays Swan. So it was very nice how she portrayed her character. And it was beautiful, the events between Matthew and Swan, just some of the things that happened, the introduction towards the baby, the conflict that they faced, how open-minded she was. And it was not a typical stepmom is coming here, the child starts throwing her dolls. That was very refreshing. As much as he loves his child slowly becomes a weakness, a weakness that affects him greatly. I would have loved when that character made certain decisions for us to see him go through it and face like severe repercussions, instead of I'm gonna do this and then he waits and then he thinks about it and then now he's missing someone and then the decision and then he changes his mind. Yeah, it would have been nice to see that. Also, I'm trying to explain it in a manner that does not become a spoiler for you as an audience, but yeah, I think it's not a very heavy movie. Yes, it's heavy. I think yes, they dealing with a topic that is very sensitive. I mean, death, and just we all, I believe we've been affected by death in one way or the other, but they are not, in as much as it's also a movie with humor rather, they are not mocking it or they are not being insensitive to it, which is beautiful. I think they portrayed it with a sense of decency. I would have loved to see Matthew with Swan more. I would have that would have just been a personal preference. I thought some of the moments between Matthew and Swan were beautiful, and those are some of the things that I enjoyed. As for the young girl who plays Maddie, I think she's about to take over Hollywood. She's got a camera. I think maybe that's just the beauty of children. Like, they never overthink things, right? And like, they're just comfortable. That camera just has them well, and like, there's no, yeah, man, because a camera can pick up so many things that when you're an adult and you're subconscious, if you're not so calm and so comfortable on camera. So I think she ran with it. Like, she was like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. So her performing, I honestly see her performing in other movies. I do know why. I do know a lot of audience members have been punishing Kevin Hart because once again they used to just him playing the fool and jumping off planes without even thinking. Just giving a very horrible example, but it's something different. Like we're seeing a different side to him. We're seeing a sense of growth in his performance. I do know I compared it with the upside, but I still think the upside wins regarding his performance. I don't know, maybe I just love the movie. But yeah, I think it's beautiful. I'm glad that they cast him. I'm glad he took the role, whichever way this movie came about into his hands. And maybe certain events you may feel like it's not like so unique in a movie, but I think that's just because of like also addresses like everyday events, like a typical father and daughter relationship. Some of those things, I thought the way they they resolved the conflict Matthew had with Swan was a bit interesting. And also we are seeing how for the first time, what was also beautiful was that we are seeing how this man is assuming on behalf of his child, and then eventually we see no, this child has a mind of her own. It could have been very typical if once again the baby is just this terrible child who doesn't want the father to maybe be in a relationship. Oh my god, you're gonna replace my parent, and they didn't go with that. Shout out to them for that. So it's Fatherhood. It's on Netflix. Do check it out and do give us feedback on how the movie made you feel. Thank you so much for honoring us with your support. It's something that we do not take for granted. I am BT. Thank you.